Good morning, MinTech subscribers and Canik fanatics. Today, I'm going to be installing a Freedomsmith Trigger on the Canik TP9 Elite Subcompact. You guys have seen this thing plenty of times. It is clear. Don't worry about it. But today I'm going to take you through the process of actually installing a Freedomsmith Trigger, whether it's the Fat Daddy or whether it's the Racer or whether it's the Zombie, whatever one's going to fit the subcompact. You have to make sure that it fits the subcompact. I ordered up the Racer Trigger and some people have had difficulty installing the any of the Freedomsmith or any triggers on these things because of the slide release pin that is located right through here, and I'll get you a better look at that in just a minute. So I'm going to take you through the process and kind of show you the best way to take care of that pin to knock that baby out. So let's go over the tools that we're going to need. Alright, first thing that you're going to need is a drill bit to be able to take, this is a little bit bigger than what that pinhole is, to be able to take the mushroom off. I'm going to see if I can get that in there. You can see the takedown pin is right there. Come on, camera, focus. Anyway, it's not a takedown pin, it's the slide release pin. So it's right in there, and it's actually mushroomed at the bottom. For the subcompact, what you're going to want to do is drive that pin from the bottom of the takedown lever up. Okay, so Canik from the factory actually mushroomed the bottom of that so it doesn't go anywhere. So we are going to drill the mushroom head off from there, and we're going to punch it through the top. So from the bottom going up. Okay. Second tool you're going to need, aside from the drill bit to take the mushroom off, is a good steel punch. I've heard that an AR-15 firing pin will also work. This is I use this for nail setting, for setting below the surface. I took this and actually sharpened that up so that it is, yeah, you can kind of see it there, so that it fits inside that takedown pin. And good thing to have is a roll of tape. I'll probably use a thicker one, but essentially what you want to do is rest the frame on the tape just like that, because you don't want to damage any of your slide parts or any of your lower parts kit on your Canik. So we're going to be doing putting that on the tape just like that when we do our pounding. And of course you're going to need a hammer. I'm just using a regular nailing hammer. You can use a brass hammer. You can use one of the plastic tough-ended hammers. Those will work too. So I'm going to take you through the process. What I'm going to do is, and I might not show this on video, is I might use my drill press, put that on the tape so that I get a nice even pressure on the mushroom of that slide release pin. So I'll take the rest of that off. So stay tuned. I actually do not have the trigger yet. It is on its way. It should be here Monday. But I'll put a picture right up here of what that trigger looks like. And I got it for a pretty decent price. So stay tuned. I'll take you through the process, and hopefully this is going to help you subcompact guys and some of you elite guys to be able to do this job yourself. I know some gunsmiths are charging like $50 to take this pin out, so hopefully I can show you guys how to do it on your own with no worries, no anxiety, and that should help you out. Alright guys, stay tuned. Hey guys, just a quick comparison of the stock Canik trigger with the Freedomsmith Racer trigger. What I want to show and demonstrate today is not only the stock trigger. We're going to test the length between the trigger pull when we hit that wall, and obviously that's when the trigger fires. We're gonna test. Reset. We're gonna test the travel from here, right in the middle of the trigger bar, from here until we hit that wall, which is about right there before we have an engagement. And so we'll be able to see exactly how long that is. And I'm going to set my micrometer. I'm going to set that to 0. We're going to be measuring in millimeters. And so we've got that set. Okay, there it is right there. I'm actually going to measure and 0 it at about just touching the trigger. So that's 73.42, but we're going to 0 it out, and we'll be able to see. We gotta reset that trigger, and I'm actually gonna pull it back. Let's see if we can do this. Pull it back, and there's the point that we hit the wall. And so I'm gonna do how much travel we have on that. And it can be a little difficult. I might have to do it on the front side. Pull that sucker back again, and it's right there. All right, I'm gonna 0 my scale out again. There it is. All right, so we have actually it's 7.43 millimeters of travel. And so once I get the Freedomsmith installed, we will see if that number changes. It should be much less than that if they are true to their word. So 7.43 is what the travel is from start till we hit that wall right there. Reset that again. From start until we hit right there. Okay, and then bang. So stay tuned with those numbers. Alright, hopefully you guys can see this okay. Let's see if I can move my camera a little closer. But essentially we are going to take that mushroom right off. And so you don't really have to drill into the plastic so much. Just try to take the head off of that mushroom. So you want to get a good driving force for that. Hopefully you can see that. And let's just see what that looks like. And it's not going to take much. It's a very... I got to look under my light here. Yeah, that looks good. So I'll bring it closer here to see if you guys can see that. There it is right there. So the head is gone. I did get into the plastic, which is no big deal whatsoever. So hopefully you guys can see that really well. The mushroom is off from there. And so now what is left is to use the punch and simply punch that pin down and out. And so it should work well. So pretty simple with that. And we'll see how well that works. If it's tough to drive that out, I actually might freeze the frame, which I really hope not to do, but I will punch that baby out. So we'll see. If I can get it out without freezing the frame, that's the best solution. Alright, so I transitioned surfaces. This is a little lower, a little harder though, and so hopefully we can get this thing punched out. Yeah, the thing is being a bear. It's still actuating fine, but it is in there. And I'm wondering if I have even a little bit of mushrooming still left on there. I might hit that with the drill bit one more time and see if we can get that punched out. Alright, let's give it a shot again. I took a little bit more off there, so hopefully we can get this sucker punched through. Oh, there we go. Pin's coming out. Alright, that's all it took. You can see it right there. It's coming through the back side. Beautiful. Now I just need to get my pick or something down there. You can see it's coming out. So sometimes you're just going to have to take a little bit more off the so-called mushroom. And next steps are to get that pin completely out, pull off the slide release, and start putting the trigger in. And it should be here tomorrow. So the rest of the steps you will see in just a few minutes. Alright, so I'm going to take the same pick I used before. I'm actually going to sharpen it up. So if you guys have a bench grinder at home, just going to make that a little sharper so that I can push that through. And then we will excuse me, the rest of that pin out, and that should drop right into my tape piece right there. And we might get a needle nose. Let me see if this one fits in there. That's not going to fit in there. Get a needle nose. I don't want to flare that hole out any more than what it is. Actually, I might be able to pull the rest of the way out with these right here. And it's coming. There we go. Alright, so if you can see that, that pin is relatively small. There it is. Make sure you don't lose this thing, because we're going to pound this back in. It's still good. We'll put it right back in that hole. And so that's the tricky part of this whole trigger exchange. And so all you got to do next is basically pull. I'm going to set that right there. Get a little flathead, and you should be able to pry this off. I might actually use my little pick, see if I can get under there. And if not, we'll get a flathead to see if we can get underneath there. I tried this one. Might be able to pry it up. It's moving. Yeah, I saw it move there. You don't want to torque the crap out of your frame either. So let me see if I can even shift it just a little slightly. See if I can get under there. I don't want to do that either. Anyway, I'm not sure if you guys want to see this on video or not, but essentially we want to get it underneath there. I'm just twisting kind of, see if I can pull it up. Going back and forth. We're also going to need, I'll show that step too, but it's kind of dark in there. There's a spring right here, and that's got to come off that little shelf, so we'll pull that off. Anyway, let me see if I can grab this just slightly and see if I can pull that off. Got it underneath there. No, I don't want to damage that. So I'll just have to keep working at that. I'll let you know how I get that off. But basically I'm going to use a flathead screwdriver and see if I can pop it. I might actually use this stuff right here. I use it for all automotive uses, pretty much everything. Oiling doors. I'll put a little bit of that in there also. Just kind of soak that up. Get it through that hole. Then I'll try getting in there. Don't want to use that one. I think it was moving. There we go. Alright. Finally. I'm going to pull that off from there. Alright, there we go. That's what it looks like. Okay. goes back on the same way you took it off. I am going to find this little baggie right here. I was helping build 2 Glocks last night, and so these bags are nice to have. I'm going to go put this on my reloading shelf so I don't lose it, because that stuff is important. And I'm going to wipe off all this excess. Alright, just to give you an idea, there's not a lot of good videos on how to, if any, really, how to do this. So that's what it looks like. Come on, focus. There we go. So that's what it looks like without the ambidextrous slide release on there. And so I think the question was asked, can you leave that off from there? And I think that you probably should not. And the reason why I say that is because the two are connected. And so if that ever pops loose or whatever, then you're going to mess something up. So anyway, we got it that far. Freedomsmith Trigger should be coming soon, and we're going to get that exchanged. So there we go. Hopefully this has been beneficial to you guys so far, and we'll get the rest of the video in just a few minutes. Okay, so here's the Freedomsmith Racer Trigger, and we are going to install that baby today. It's looking pretty sweet. The anodization is really nice. Actually, this was a blem model, and I can't really find the blem on it. I think there's like 2 little spots towards the lower part of the trigger that are you can see, but hey, it was like 14% off, so pick that up. So let's get to the install. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to release the tension on the the slide release spring, which is located right there. Pretty simple process. Just pry it up and off from that little ledge there. I'm going to use a thing so I can pull that right off from there. And there we go. It's released. It's off from there. Probably can't see it too well, but it sits right there. So that's off the shelf. Okay, now quickly we can, now that the spring is off the shelf, we can actually remove our slide release, and all you gotta do is pull that out, put that to the side. Next step is to actually punch out this roll pin right here, which should release the trigger bar from the actual trigger. And so I'm going to make sure that I'm on a stable platform. You can see I'm on the tape here. And so I will put my punch right there, and I'm going to punch it most of the way through there, and that should release the trigger. I'm going to save that roll pin, because I'll put that in a parts bag along with the trigger, and that should release my trigger bar, which it does. You can see that that's loose in there, and it drops down, and so now I just need to pull this trigger out, which comes out just like that. Now I'm going to let my trigger bar rest right in there, and I'm going to have to line that up with my roll pin. So that's what your trigger's looking like. Safety still engaged there. I'm going to actually put that trigger in this box so I know that it goes with my Canik. And you can actually take this roll pin that you punched out. My suggestion is just to kind of pound it in slightly. You don't have to go all the way, just in case you need to replace the Freedomsmith for whatever reason. Can do that. So there it is. I'm going to save that, put it in my parts box, and so that I know that it's for the Canik TP9 Elite Subcompact. All right. Cool thing is that Freedomsmith, you can see that already punched your roll pin in much of the way, and so all you have to do is put your trigger bar in there and align it and smack it in the rest of the way. So it should be a pretty easy job. So let's get to that. Alright, excuse me, there's allergies going on here, and so I'm messing with that. Alright, so I'm going to move my trigger bar sort of out of the way there and pull my trigger up into the housing. It's going to take some manipulation of the lower receiver, the slide, whatever you want to call it. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can press this whole thing up there so it resides in that little slide there, just like that. So you can kind of see it sitting in there. And then all I got to do then is align it up there. But I think what I'm going to do, so I have some stabilization, you can see your slide release up there. So I'm going to bring my slide release forward and actually get that part through there so I have it stabilized. Okay, my apologies if you guys can't see that. I'm going to turn that, push it up into the spot, and we're almost there. Let's see if I can get a better angle on that. There we go. Come on, get up there. There we go. Come on, you can do it. Just have to try to get the angle right. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of ingenuity. I'm going to have to take a punch, put it in there, and see if I can get her squared up. So you just about need to be setting perfect. There we go. I gotta get that square. There we go. Alright, so that's in there now. It's going to take some trial and error to get your slide release in there. And now I just need to, if you can see it, I just need to align the roll pin inside of the trigger bar piece there. So what I'm going to do is probably take a punch to align that, so that I might have to pull this back a little bit. Yep, there we go. I think that's right there. Actually, I can start pounding. So I align the hole. You can see it goes all the way through. And now it's just a matter of getting on my tape, hoping that it does not move, and getting the pin punched in. So let's see if we can get that taken care of. Maybe use a bigger one here. It's starting to go. We are almost through there. Oh yeah, it's gonna be nice. Gonna be nice. Yeah, gonna be nice. All right, I want to steady this trigger out some more. Get that pounded in there, and we're just about home. It is just about home. Run, Forrest, run. Yeah, that stuff falling over. All right, so that's it. Roll pins in. It's looking really nice. That green is pretty sweet. Alright, let's just see what that is looking like. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to measure the take-up on that. And, we're going to see how this thing tests on the micrometer. So there it is. It's installed. It's looking good. I like that green trigger. Just a quick note, you just got to make sure that your slider release spring is back in place. There it is right there. And we should be able to test that bad boy out. So, alright. Alright guys, so I put it all back together. It's just reverse steps of how we took it apart. I did put the slider release back on there, and the pin is pounded in to the recess, and so we're good to go. So let's just check this trigger out. I can tell you right now that the take-up hitting the wall is a lot shorter, and I'm going to measure that in just a minute. I believe the take-up on the stock trigger was like 7.3 or something. I'll have to look back, but I'm pretty sure that it was 7.3, and this is much shorter. Bang. Reset is probably close to the same. It's close to the same as a stock trigger. And so a lot of people wonder, you know, is it worth it to get the Freedomsmith trigger? Does it make a difference, or just does it look pretty? And I can honestly tell you that I can tell a huge difference in hitting that wall, and the trigger reset is the same. And so let's look at that. Let's just see the difference. We're going to reset 0. I just want to make sure that we capture it correctly. Boom, there it is. And if I hit, dang, that is so temperamental. If I hit the wall right there, I'm going to take my, I got to zero that out. Again, there we hit it. Actually, that one's 4.32. I think I must have had it something in the way. So I'm going to do it one more time. Let's go from 0, same area on the grip. About right there. I'm going to be measuring that. 0. Alright, let's pull it back without. And we're about right there. 3.33. So it is a huge difference. I probably measured it incorrectly that first time. I think I was hitting something, but the difference is about 3 to 4 millimeters that it's shortened up. So I'm going to take this out possibly today and take it for that is sweet, guys. I'm serious. Racer trigger. This is for the Canik TP9 Elite Subcompact. That trigger is absolutely amazing. Okay, so I hope you liked the video. More to come in regard to a field test, a range test, so stay tuned to that. I hope that this whole thing, the whole process, was helpful to you guys who are considering doing the swap. Like I said, there's not really a good video on how to take it step by step to get this thing done. So if you guys have questions, leave them in the comment. Please subscribe. And you guys have a fantastic day.